Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's now time for Team Liquid versus LGD Gaming. Best of one, loser eliminated, winner in the top 8 and in the money. I'm LD, and I'm joined here by Luminous.
Very, very smart opening draft from Team Liquid. A lot of teams like to favor OD on the mid lane, and the obvious counter is Razor. It seems like a lot of teams have picked that one up as well. They say, let's pick up the Razor first. You can have the OD if you want it, but we'll counter you that way.
Yeah, obviously Naga Siren's also pretty nice here for LGD Gaming. If Liquid wanted to go for Ursa, we've seen some fuzzy wuzzy from them. They're on the dire side, so if they want to go Ursa, this Naga pick may deter them. They also get an early Nature's Prophet. It is a best of one. Liquid so far, though, it's looking pretty standard from them.
Right. I mean, I feel like personally LGD China is perhaps the better team if all things are equal. I mean, they said they were not in good form, and they just went toe-to-toe against probably the tournament favorite Alliance. So I think Team Liquid gotta toss something up in the air. They gotta spice things up, because if you play a standard game against LG China, I'm not sure what they'll take it from them.
Yeah, so Liquid now will ban out a Spectre. They'll remove one of the most annoying late game carries. We'll see where LGD takes their strategy from here. Prophet the second pick. It's one of Xiaohui's strongest heroes. We've seen Yao pretty much going mid every game, so I think we'll continue to see that now, and I think it's where LGD are most comfortable. Xiaohui into the off lane or into the jungle, you put Yao mid, and then that leaves Sylar in the defensive tri lane. If you're Liquid, you know that's how they like to play, and you know it's coming.
Now both teams, or actually I think Team Liquid in particular, has been using Treant Protector quite a bit. I feel like that will allow them to actually go a little bit on the offensive early on. Razor plus Treant Protector, a pretty good combo to dive, or just make sure you could dive long enough to make your link go on. I think that's a hero that I'm looking forward to for Team Liquid to pick it, but for now they will take up a Bane Elemental.
Very strong partner for the Razor. You sleep someone, you prep the static link, you're stealing a lot of damage, and then you look to go. What they don't really have is that follow-up stun, so maybe something like a Lina or a Leshrac, even a Jakiro could be next. They could still go for the tree if they wanted, but they are a bit locking in the early game lockdown. We'll see where they go from here. As for LGD, it looks like Liquid really wanted to ban out Sylar. We know LGD is a team that often loses the laning stage, but usually finds a way late game. Liquid do not want them to have the late game edge.
I mean, LG right now is picking up some of the bread and butter heroes. Nature's Prophet on Xiaohui, Magnus being played by Yao. I feel like Sylar has such a wide hero pool that it's impossible to ban him out, but Team USA is having the home crowd behind them. I think a lot of times Team Weakness, one of their greatest weakness is their inconsistency in their draft. Sometimes they have a marvelous strategy, and sometimes they have lanes and draft that don't make too much sense. Hopefully for Team Liquid, they can find a very good draft.
Yeah, LGD, they're going to stick with their bread and butter here, with what's worked for them for the most part thus far. They'll go back for the Yao Mag now, so they've got a very strong 5-man composition, Naga Siren as well as Mag already, and now you've got the split push from the Prophet too. So they've got multiple ways to attack this game. We still don't know what Sylar's going to play. That's the biggest question. Liquid, more aggression, going for a CM. Their laning stage is now very scary. I mentioned tri-laning the Razor, but it could very well be a Razor mid as well. And either direction they want to go, it's a very scary tri-lane.
It's scary for the enemy team, but also scary for themselves, because you're picking up heroes like Razor and Crystal Maiden. So if you don't win that offensive tri-lane hard enough, you're in huge trouble, because mid-game wise, Razor without farm, Crystal Maiden without a huge level of advantage over the enemy supports, it's not going to do a single damn thing. Alchemist, here we go.
It's a Sylar's hero. They ban out the Spectre, the anti-mage, probably the scariest late game carries for LGD to get. We don't really see them go for Coddle PL too often. Alk, however, has been the one they've chosen to turn to. We've seen them actually first pick it against the Alliance, so Liquid let it slip through. LGD say this is exactly the kind of draft we're comfortable with. Liquid, however, they know how LGD likes to play. Everyone does. LGD is not a team that surprises you in the draft. You know what's coming. Can you stop it?
In fact, I mean, you know LG is going to lose the early game. You count that in as well. But what they're really strong at is defending their tier 2 towers, defending that high ground, and of course, we've seen it many times today, but in power on Alchemist farm, it takes you well into the late game.
Yeah, LGD also now have a tri-lane that gets pretty tanky. Naga's very tanky early on. We've seen that support Naga, buying a poor man shield, being pulled regen. You can't really go on him. You're probably not going to kill him. The Alchemist has low base armor, but pretty decent HP, so we'll see if they can kill Sylar. Though we still don't know what that secondary support is on the tri-lane. That's probably the easiest hero to kill. Liquid banning out probably the strongest remaining defensive support and a Shadow Demon. And LGD, worried about the Tricore, will remove the Lifestealer.
I'm surprised the Lifestealer was unchecked till now, right? So that was a little bit interesting for me. But LG Gaming should pick up a very, very defensive support. Team Liquid wants to go offensive. You know they want to go offensive, especially with that Shadow Demon ban. So a defensive support maybe in a Jakiro.
So what is that hero? Is it a Rubik?
Jakiro, perhaps.
Jakiro,
Rubik's not bad either. Rubik perhaps a little bit weaker because he's very squishy. You have to get fairly close to actually get that defensive spell. I like to say Earthshaker, but you're dealing with a lot of melee supports, and I don't think you could do that either.
Yeah, tri-lane with melees and having a mag just makes your team very awkward. Fissure can even work against you. I think Jakiro is the way to go here. And it's going to be a Boba Clockwork. Making a comeback here. Elimination match, backs against the wall. They're turned towards this for him.
I mean, Team Liquid, their motto is dive, dive, dive. Kind of knocked LGD out of their comfort zone. Make sure that you get a lot of early kills, a lot of early tower kills, and of course LGD will go back to a very defensive support, Jakiro.
So for Liquid, they don't have a Roche lineup. We're not going to see any level 1 Roche shenanigans. It is an elimination match. I thought maybe something like that would be in the offing, but not the case here. They're going to try to beat
it just shows that
fight.
Team Liquid is confident, right? They say we don't need to cheese you out. We're going to say we will outplay you with our own game. And this speaks a lot for Team Liquid.
They've given LGD what LGD wants. If they can beat LGD's best, then Liquid is going to be fearsome as we move into the later stages of the lower bracket. The draft complete. The players now selecting their heroes. We're about ready to get underway. Liquid versus LGD China. Best of 1. Loser goes home. Winner stays alive. And here we go.
This is definitely where LGD is at their weakest. In a long series, they are very likely to figure you out, and they could kind of adapt between game to game. But in a best of 1 series, it's like you said last time, we saw 14-0 on LGD. They were playing, best of 3s all the way through. But now they're playing best of 1.
They're out of their comfort zone, but they are still a fearsome foe. Liquid on the dire side, the hometown favorites. Korok on the gyrocopter. TC on the Razor. Fluff and Stuff, the Crystal Maiden. Boba on his signature clock that puts IX Mike. Last but certainly not least, the stash onto the Bane. And on the Radiant side, you've got Team LGD China, the Yao Mag, probably the best mag in the world, definitely in the discussion. DDC, the Jakiro, Sylar, the Alchemist. Oh my god. DD, the Naga Siren. We'll have Xiaowei, last but not least, the Nature's Prophet.
I think somewhere in the crowd, somewhere in this building, S4 is disagreeing as the son of Magnus.
Maybe Ice is the best Magnus. He took S4 down 1v1.
We'll see about that here as Team Liquid going very deep into the enemy jungle, dropping a couple wards. They just want to make sure they have a good start in this offensive trial lane. If you're LGD, I mean, you have a Naga Siren that could go in the front line here with 6 base armor to tank things up. It's hard to initiate on him. Jakiro, he's going to be very far back. Though, with that said, I think Sylar's going to have a very tough time finding too much creeps.
So a small little victory here for LGD. They spotted out Liquid's warding and immediately deward. They did have an observer here, so they saw the rotation. And off the bat, LGD China, they have supports as well as a carry that are great at farming stacks and need a lot of levels. They deward the pull. Small advantage to them already.
So I think with offensive trialing and defensive trialing, a lot of times we say, let's look at those trialings. But in fact, I want to turn to our solo lanes. I feel like Boba as well as Korok, now TC up top, spectacular solo players. But let's see if they can kind of tackle the very veteran Xiaowei as well as Yao on the respective top and mid lanes.
Yeah, Yao, we saw earlier against S4, he handled himself really well in the laning stage, but where he got punished was once that laning stage broke down. S4 found a solo kill against him. Boba off the bat with the better creep block, and we'll see him probably going for Cogspan, and he unfortunately doesn't get the mana burn. Yao's just going to right-click him.
Wow.
Not a great start for Bulba. It's only 1 Cogs. It's not the biggest deal, but generally, Bulba said in the past, when you play this matchup, you should be able to win 1v1 against Magnus. You should not need any help.
Yeah, what you want to do is hopefully use those Cogs to get the mana burn off. Make sure that Yao doesn't have too much farm and harass with that shockwave. But as both these players are going to get their battle crows really soon, that shouldn't matter too much.
Yeah, you'll notice that Xiaowei sitting safely at his tower, getting some levels. Prophet's one of the more decent heroes against Razor because he's not going to be able to get in close and steal too much damage. As long as you stay back, you can even use your trance to harass him. So I think this matchup is okay. I would still give the Razor an edge beat on the safe lane, but Xiaowei should get levels. He should hit a quick level 6. And that's where things could get scary for Liquid. They were not able to shut down that initial pull. The camp has been reblocked. But if you give level 6 Prophet and the tri-lane's even, then you have to say it's now LGD China's tri-lane to lose.
I absolutely agree. Getting that level 2 on Naga Siren is going to be very important as well. Will allow you to kind of go somewhat aggressive if they dive you too deep. With that said though, LGD China has a huge creep wave on the bot lane, which means it's going to slowly push towards Team Liquid, and that just means that Sylar is going to have a little bit of tough time farming. With that said, he's actually getting a ton of creep
The
kills.
warding shenanigans continue. It's really an escalation here from both teams in arms race. They ward, we de-ward, then they ward again. Both teams going at it. There's a frostbite on DD. They've stunned up Fluff and stuff. Ice Pad to fly. In comes the nuke, but he's slapped by IX Mike, keeping him alive. The nukes come through. He's not dead yet. Yes, he is. First blood to LGD China. Could there be a turnaround? Nothing in sight, and that's the power of the Nature's Prophet.
That's a bad news for Team Liquid fans out there, because you run a fence-up trial lane, you expect to dive, you expect to get kills, but a great TP from Xiaowei as well as a good coordination coming out from LG China. They secure first blood.
It does give them a big disadvantage in this top lane. Now, no boots, the Razor already has his, so TC should have a much easier time zoning Xiaowei out of the lane, but you've just secured your tri-lane. The only thing that's really a persistent issue for them is the camp's been warded again, and it seems like LGD actually know. They've matched Liquid Sentry Ward for Observer Ward every step of the way. They do need a new set of sentries now. Nothing coming just yet.
Yep. So far, LG's pretty happy with their early game so far. Although, with that said, if you see Xiaowei up top, one more hit's going to do the job, and there you go, solo kill from TC. You cannot stress how important it is to pick up these solo kills. It means that Xiaowei cannot come back to lane anymore. TC will slowly harass his towers.
Yeah, he's got a skewer. He's going to pile drive Bulba back into the tower. There's battery assault flowing. There's no mana yet for a Shockwave trying to bottle up the illusions. I think
huge
it's enough.
Huge micro from Boba, preventing the bottle up from Yao, preventing that Shockwave from coming out.
Wrap around on the bottom lane. They found Fluff, but they really want Korok. Net to fly. It's a long duration stun. A good sleep from Mike, but Ice Pad comes through. Korok low. Korok in a lot of trouble. One more hit. Still running. He's got boots. Sylar does it. He's going to live. Turns it around. There's another nuke to fly. They need one more Ice Pad. Jukes, it's not enough. They'll go for the dual breath. Korok does fall. Blow for blow. These teams are just not giving any quarter.
We always say in the past, when LG China win games, they often lose the early game and make spectacular comeback. But when this team is winning the early game, that's when they're in their strongest form.
I actually would say it's very even. Sure, the tri-lane's going a bit better for LGD, but they've had to TP their Prophet in twice now. Xiaowei's been driven entirely off the top lane. To be honest, there's phase boots up on TC. He can't really lane top. He can always TP out, but that's just wasted time. So he goes to jungle. TC has a free safe lane farm on Razor. Bulba still doing pretty well mid. Didn't die earlier, out farming the Magnus of Yao slightly. Honestly, I'd say it's pretty even this early on.
It is even right now, but I think actually being even is disadvantaging Liquid. They're having Crystal Maiden, one of the weaker support if you don't win the tri-lane Fluff and stuff, as well as Ix Mike playing well. But if you look at the CM, level 1, what is she going to do without boots, without a magic stick in this kind of tri-lane situation? She might just be food.
Yeah, Extinct was talking about, and Black as well, about how Crystal made one of the strongest level 1 to 2 supports in the game, but if you don't have a good start, then she quickly can turn into food. Like you said, needs the items, at least needs a few levels so she can get points in her aura, because the team is very spell spammy. They can use a lot of that mana to their advantage. And LGD, they've got good AoE here. They're controlling the tri-lane so far. It looks like Liquid will try to secure a little bit more of a backup plan. They'll start stacking the Ancients. They've been doing it for a bit, it looks like. And LGD are not blocking this, so sure, you fall behind in the tri-lane, but if your tower's still standing, you can catch up with those Ancients.
Yep. Meanwhile, Xiaowei up top here, slowly working towards his hand Midas. He might pick up something basic like a boot of speed, or maybe even upgraded boots before that.
Don't even be surprised if he rushes a mech. Xiaowei's offlane Prophet has been known to do it in the past.
Yeah, Xiaowei's Prophet starts lower than most other Prophet players, but he really has a huge finish. Look towards him later on the game, makes huge split push plays, but for now, he'll slow it down here and then jungle a little bit.
So Bulba's level 6. He's got a level 3 battery assault. I'm surprised he hasn't gone for a kill on Yao, but Yao does have RP and there's the threat of the Prophet. I think if there wasn't a Prophet this game and the tri-lane had gone better, we'd see Bulba forcing a 1v1, diving the tower, because even if he skewers and RPs you, if battery assault's going, you can easily kill him. But so far, Yao's just done a masterful job of defending the lane, hasn't gotten picked off, and still keeping up in CS.
Yeah, Boba needs to somehow kind of, bait Yao into his cogs, and then as he skewers out, you hook him to follow him to get that kill. And so far, I really don't think Boba can hook in, for example, and then set up a kill like that. Yao just have too much HP, and of course with the skewer, he should be okay.
Yeah, for the time being, Bulba going to check the top rune, but it is a regen, picked up by IX Mike. Here comes a rotation from Korok. It looks like Liquid will abandon their tri-lane. Where do they go from here?
I'm not too sure. They're not really too good with pushing with their Crystal Maiden as well as Bane. They're not good at ganking either. It feels like they're a bit lost. It's a teleport up top here with Crystal Maiden. It seems like she's going to pull a little bit, jungle a little bit. She needs experience, and this is how she's going to find it.
And LGD, they're sensing that maybe that Tri-Lane's missing. They'll place in a more aggressive lane ward. So now they know if Liquid have anyone in the lane, this frees up Sylar. Phase boots up. He's taking a point in Greevil's Greed. Generally what we've seen from him is he doesn't max Greevil's Greed. He takes 1 point, he maxes the stun, then he even goes back for Acid Spray. But even 1 point for Greevil's Greed, if you're allowed to free farm, you do have the same bonus gold cap. Eventually you'll be farming just as well.
That's an indication that he's going to be going for a Shadow Blade first. I mean, if you find squishy supports, those are free kills. Courier flying to the Secret Shop. Is there somebody upgrading Arcane Boots? I think that's going to be Yao's.
Yeah, Arcane Boots up for Mag. Now look towards Yao to try and farm up his Blink Dagger. If Liquid haven't taken a single tower by the time the Blink's up, I think this game gets really difficult for them. Like you said, not great at pushing. They will want some BKBs. Fortunately, TC farming towards his. But Korok's nowhere near one. Only Boots and a Bracer, a long way off from a big item that they need to team fight.
I feel like the Chinese teams such as LGD China, IG are very well accustomed to playing a solo mid Clockwork. Maybe Gods has given them a couple of lessons because Boba just can't really find these hooks, can't really find these angles. And level, you're going to have tough time keeping up with the enemy cores because they're getting real items, they're getting real big levels, and Boba, well, we'll see him TPing him to the top lane. They want to pressure tier 2, and against anybody that tries to defend, they will kill him and keep pushing.
At the same time, the tier 1 falls top. Liquid striking first blood when it comes to towers. 2-1 the score. LGD, very defensive for them, but you look at Liquid, 3 cores farming pretty well. Of course, Alchemist generally considered a ticking time bomb, and Sylar up to 1,400, 1,300 gold, getting closer to that first piece of the Shadow Blade, and once he gets it, that's where Fluff and stuff just can't be on his own. Honestly, needs at least 2 teammates near him or he will become food.
They're looking at hook from Xiaowei. Xiaowei hiding on the safety of his trees. You can see Boba walking around to find that angle. He's looking for... Are these like
He's
tree
got
markers?
the vision now. He's got the angle. Hope to fly. Caught him out. Xiaowei in a whole lot of trouble. Easy pickings for Boba.
And here we go. Liquid's going to apply even more pressure. This is exactly what he needs to do. That hits your Crystal Maiden up to level 4.5, but they actually back off from the push. I felt like they could have done a little bit of damage to that tower as well. But still, huge pick off. You need to actually make the Chinese fair. You don't allow them to farm or do whatever they want. Boba striking hard.
Yeah, LGD China is just a team that you don't want in their comfort zone, and that's what we saw from Alliance. Consistently forcing them to take fights, diving the towers at times, and just putting them in an uncomfortable position. Liquid, great early pressure. They'll want to keep it up. They already have a mech on TC. We've actually seen this from AUI 2000's Viper as well. Even though it's a ranged agility carry, you get this mech, and he's got the mana to support it for the most part. So now if Liquid want to force some team fights and go for a push, mech can turn a fight around even against Magnus RP. That heal and the additional armor makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, if the RP comes and then suddenly, hey, we think we could win that team fight, but you just are out damaged or out healed by a mech, you could easily swing around, and that's the fight that Team Liquid is going for. One thing that they have to be worried about is that Sylar, he's very close to that Shadow Blade, and if he finds like a solo pickoff, for example, he could easily transition to a push. But for now, he hold his Claymore and still keep farming towards the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, Boba, he found 1 kill top, now rotating bottom. He's got a smoke as well. Mike's only level 3 though. And to be honest, I think going for that bottom lane, you need a lot more than 2 if you want to force it. Looks like he's heading back towards mid. I do want to say this is sort of the difference between Magnus and Clock. Clock doesn't need the big items to go gank. Magnus needs a Blink Dagger, so that's why we see Yao just sitting mid, while Bulba's roaming all around the map.
Yeah, I think if you want to point out to DDS, he has level 6. They see Ike Smite, there's a net to fly through. He does have the self-nightmare. Is he jumping up? No, nothing, no response. The sun will come through. Ike Smite will just get blown up. Sylar even gets a last hit, but
wow.
DD picking up level 6 is huge because if you don't initiate on her and chain stun her, anybody else will just get a... They'll just run away against that Clockwork.
The big thing is they also forced a double teleport reaction. TC had mech, and it looked like he thought I can get in there just in time if he self-sleeps to mech him and turn this fight around. But TP took too long, couldn't arrive in time, so when you blow 2 TPs against Nature's Prophet, well, he just goes and pushes mid.
Are we going to see some Song Initiate? There's a Song Initiate. I think they want TC. There's Stun Set, there's an Air Sarah, an AoE.
He's tanky. He's not dead yet, but it's a lot of nukes. Mech's there. Called out trying to turn it around. Skewer's available. Yeah, looking. RP is in. Didn't catch TC. Liquid still standing. Now
here comes Boba. 2-man Kong, and the AoE will fly through Korok with the right clicks. They get Yao. They're now working on Sylar. Sylar stand as well. Boba making huge plays against LGD China. Can they get a tower after this? I think they can, but My goodness, Team Liquid is playing so well right now.
The early mech advantage. The mech is the difference. Without it, they lose that fight, and they lose it horribly. Also, TC, I want to point out with the phase boots, just able to dodge out of the RP. If any of those things hadn't happened, no mech or no RP dodge, I think that fight actually goes LGD China's way. But a huge fight for them, and the Shadow Blade of Sylar's is now delayed. As well as the Blink Dagger of Yao. I can't stress enough just how big that fight was for Liquid.
That was absolutely huge, and of course, let's not forget about morale and confidence. They're not doing so well in the early game, especially with offensive trialing. Now you win a huge team fight where you wipe the 2 core that is most important on the LG China side. So huge plays from Team Liquid. Let's see if they keep up with the momentum. Again, the name of the game is put LG China off their standard game, pressure them hard.
Yeah, keep them on their toes. Don't let them get comfortable. Keep on kicking them. Boba, he's done a nice job of that so far, and now he's going to find a haste rune bottom. This could be the next level of aggression. Will he force a fight? LGD China actually don't have vision of this rune, although they did see him walking towards the rune, so they don't know what it is. And now Boba rotates in. It's daytime. It's go time, it looks like, for Liquid. RP still cooling down for 30 seconds. Song for 80. And this is that window. With Song down, Liquid can force fights.
This is really smart play from LG. They're saying, you know what? I know you got 3 or 4 here. We can't really defend that tower. We're going to push
Watch
2
out mid.
Oh, Boba.
Waiting in the wings, the Clockwork Goblin. Hooked to fly off the mark.
Yeah,
he's got a cogs? Nah. If you go in, he can always skewer out.
TP out. Oh, nice nightmare by Ike's Mike. They find a pickoff on the Prophet.
It could have been more. Yao running. He's got a skewer. Driving Boba back. Now caught in the cogs. RP's there, but it's not going to be enough. Liquid find another. And the score is now 6-3. The tower will be denied too. More and more advantages piling up for Liquid, now pushing mid. They might be able to take this as well.
Yeah, huge plays from Team Liquid. The only saving grace for LGD is that Sylar has found like 3 or 4 creep waves up top, has pushed it up to the top tower. That's going to force a little bit of reaction. In fact, Xiaowei TPs and says, let's get some more damage. He micros 1 tree in the front. It's going to drive the creep wave away. In fact, it's actually doing quite a bit. There is no rotation from Team Liquid. Where are these teleports, Rose?
Yeah, I think they used a lot to go towards mid. Fluff doesn't have one right now. Neither does IX Mike. They'll smoke up and head towards top. But Xiaowei buys his team a lot of time. To me, the biggest thing is that they keep on killing Yao. And we've seen not only are his Blink RPs almost always on point, but on top of that, his Blink skewers to set up pickoffs are pretty strong. So delaying the Blink means delaying LGD China's pickoff potential. Huge kills for him, and now the smoke wrap towards bottom lane. There is a Battle Fury coming soon, or not Battle Fury, Shadow Blade, but it's not up yet, and LGD in a bit of trouble.
Being scouted by Centaur plus some creeps.
GD. He's got Psalm though. If they dive this, it could go the other way.
I mean, you got to be very careful if you're Team Liquid. If you dive this and overcommits and you take too much tower shots, asleep and multiple TP back. No, they want to sacrifice this tier 1 tower and says, you know what, let's just not take that fight.
I like LGD China not fighting here because Shadow Blade's just arriving. The Blink for the Magnus isn't that far off, and Xiaowei's getting, well, not close to him, I just put farming towards one. They just don't have items to fight right now. LGD China know their strength is in defensive play, but while they're busy being defensive, Liquid is gouging them. They're taking huge chunks of territorial control. The map control is really going their way, and when you take the towers, you want to see aggressive wards, and that's exactly what we see from Liquid.
Team Liquid playing well, but they got to be noticed that they are winning, but not that hard. Despite winning multiple team fights and taking these early game towers, only about 3,000 gold lead, and I think a lot of it goes back to Sylar, who is farming quite well with the Grievous Screen. Now with the Shadow Blade, he will be looking for solo pickoffs.
I mean, they have ways to deal with a 1-core lineup if the game goes late, and Sylar's the only one who's farmed. They've got the Razor Static Link. It's great against melee carries. They've got Fiend's Grip and Cogs, and even Hookshot. I feel like Liquid can deal with Sylar being farmed. What they can't really deal with is these other heroes getting farmed too. If Yao has a Blink, and the next item a BKB, if you see the Prophet of Xiaowei having damage, then they get into trouble. But so far, Sylar the only one farming. Liquid have the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, Xiaowei, his farm has been really slowed down. 0-3 is his score so far. I mean, he's also saving that Wrath of Nature to help out his allies for a dive or a gank, so he's not using it for farm either. He will get his Hand of Midas, but it's been severely delayed, and that goes back to Team Liquid playing really, really well.
So Liquid, they took the tier 1 top, they took the tier 1 bottom, they lead 6-3. But I just have this nagging feeling that their work isn't done yet. I'd like to see some more aggressive wards, and I'd like to see Boba just continue to put pressure on the map. The longer you delay that Magnus Blink Dagger, the harder it is for LGD to fight, but it's coming soon.
Yeah, Team Liquid's doing a lot, but it just doesn't feel like enough. This huge Ancient stack is going to allow Korok accelerate to the next item. BKB, I love the choice. You want to take the fight early and fast to LGD, and that item will allow you to do it. But I mean, since that tower push on the bot lane, LGD's got himself like 2 minutes or 3 minutes even of free farm, and that's, I think, enough. If you look at Yao's 1900 gold, if you look at the Prophet's 1,300 gold. They are near their key items.
At the same time, it is very much proceed with caution when you're up against LGD China, because we saw what happened to them previously. That match where we thought that they were pretty much out of it, and then you see Yao at the Roche pit. They're down like 10k cold, hits 2 with an RP, skewers them into the pit, and the fight goes very south for Dignitas. So Liquid, they know LGD are kings of the comeback, and they're going to play this one safe. The Blink Dagger comes out now for Yao, and if you're LGD China, now you look to force the fights.
Yeah, now you look to aggressively defend your towers. Previously, they've been TPing away from the tier 1 tower and say, you know what, you could have it for free, Team Liquid. Now, you gotta be careful with Team Liquid. Don't clump too much. I know that's asking a lot, especially when you're playing, pushing game, but it's tough against Yao.
Yeah, I said force your fights, but I like the way you said it better, which is aggressively defend your towers, because they don't really want to chase Liquid.
Right.
It's more like if Liquid comes a knocking, you answer the door.
Yep. And Boba's a player that I'm going to be looking for, because if you play well enough, rocket Yao, hook Yao, make sure he never gets off his RP, or if he does get off, it's going to be a bad one. So I think there's a lot of pressure on Boba's shoulder. He has been delivering so far, and he's not just shooting it, he's been dunking so far. So let's see if he can keep making great plays.
Yeah, whereas if you look at LGD, I feel like they've got multiple ways to take these fights. Song of the Siren, Blink RP, even a big Alk Stun or an Ice Path could turn it around. Liquid are a bit lacking in team fight AoE lockdown, and that's where it put, like you said, just puts a lot of pressure on them. But Liquid, farming the Ancients, it seems like they're just getting more off the map right now. Goldgraph, though, with Greevil's Greed and the Midas for the Profit, I guess it's telling a different story.
Yeah, I mean, I think, in fact, the jungling of the support of LG has been pretty impressive. They're farming with Prophets and Treants. They're just stacking the camps. Of course, Sylar with that Greevil Clear, still at level 1. I mean, it's going to be accelerated as well. So Team Liquid did well early game, has not pressured LG China nearly enough, and I'm worried for them. They're not really going to win this game if it's the same rate that's been going.
I mean, they really want to pressure. You can tell. They're clustered up as 4 mid. Korok's got an Invisor, and his BKB is 14 gold away, so they should definitely wait for that. But you know they want to fight. It's just they understand how good LGD China's lineup is at playing from behind. Some lineups, if you fall behind like this, it's very hard to come back, but this is a comeback lineup.
Complexity wraparound smoke gang?
They don't really have a great Roche lineup, so they're wrapping around through the river. There is an Observer Ward here, and if Sylar's the one that reveals the smoke, he should be able to Shadow Blade away, unless there's a hook. IX, Mike, and Fluff, up the hill they go. Still fishing for an opening. It's all up to Bobo now with this hook. Can he find it? Yao's the ideal target. Yao's not caught out yet, though. He backs way far off. DDC caught. There's a grip. Held in position. Instantly blown up. Not a fight that LGD want to take. And immediately Xiaowei to the bottom lane. The tier 1 mid probably going to fall now.
Well, they still have Glyph available. I like the fact that Yao saw there's a 3-man RP, did not take it because he needed for a little bit more. Also, Sylar was not there just yet. And I think they will at least delay this tower quite a bit. I mean, there's
still a hook. Like, if they defend this... Well, Boba's actually bottom, so... Maybe,
Boba's looking for a solo kill.
Yeah, Xiaowei TP's bottom. He TP'd bottom immediately, and it looks like Boba said, I can pick him off too, but Xiaowei... Well, he dodges that, and he'll back off to the jungle.
And in fact, I think that was an LGD win. Sure, you lost your Jakiro, but you defended your tier 1 tower. Sylar sees a huge creep wave up top. It's going to be farming that. Xiaowei, had a slow start. He's going to be picking up some real items soon.
Yeah, if Sylar gets a BKB, I mean, they can steal his damage, but he's still got the stun to throw out multiple times in a fight. Acid Spray is going to be a pain in the rear. And if Razor gets caught, then maybe he doesn't get to steal damage. So, I mean, Sylar getting farm here and not being contested, getting a BKB makes a big difference in these fights.
Yeah, a lot of times, you're coming new to Dota 2 and you're saying, hey, it's 3-7, isn't, my Team Liquid boys winning? But a lot of this game is about potential, and right now the hero potential of LG China just scales better in the late game. They team fight a lot better as well, and Team Liquid, again, need to pressure, and so far they just can't do it.
They obviously understand it. They're just trying to be very cautious about it, which makes sense, because if you just headlong dive into LGD and you're slightly out of position, then Blink RP ruins you. So they de-ward, they're slowly trying to exert map dominance, but this is where the profit factor just makes it very tough. And we've seen this a lot from the Alliance as well. Constantly the profit, pressuring the lanes, delaying the enemy 5-man while the carry gets farmed up. For Alliance, it's Loda. For LGD, it's Sylar. And speaking of Sylar, he's really starting to get his farm on.
BKB finish on a Razor here, and is he looking for a hook on DD? That should be a free hook, but he is just so tanky with the poor man's show strength dreads. I mean, this is our support player, DD, but he could tank thousands of damage up in the front line. I love the defensive warding coming out here from Team LGD China. And again, these guys are playing some next level. Ooh, Clockwork Hook. It's going to find Xiaowei. What a pickoff, and that's going to open the entire game because suddenly we're going to see pushing from Liquid everywhere. Boba still entertaining the crowd, putting his entire team on his back right now.
He's heating up, but with that Prophet dead, there's no split push thread, no glyph available. The tier 1 falls mid. Now, the door to Roshan might just have cracked open. Liquid, slowly but surely, gaining an advantage here.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Boba is really the X factor. You gotta find Yao.
Sylar, he's diving top, but there's a rotation coming from Liquid. Mike's low. Will there be a reaction in time?
No, he's gonna get gripped.
He doesn't have mana. TC stealing the damage. Sylar trying to make a solo play. Could be in a lot of trouble. All the damage stolen. Trying to run, slashing him and whipping him into submission. TC beats him down and saves IX Mike.
Sylar making a very rare mistake, but that was a very costly one. He needs to carry his team right now. You talked about him having the most farm, and going for a solo kill and not having a backdoor plan like that, huge deal.
Score now 9-3. Liquid now leading by 4K gold and 5K experience. It's still not enough to say, oh, it's Liquid's game, it's over. Not against this LGD China lineup, but it just feels like the way Liquid's playing, there's a lot of confidence with this team. They're hitting their ganks, they're not overextending, and they're just making all the right calls. So if they keep that up, then it could very well be their game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Team Liquid has the items to make big tower dives. For example, your Razor could run in. He's got the BKB. He's got the mech. He's goddamn, I think, invulnerable at this point here. You can't really kill him. Of course, Boba could just dive in with a single hook, but they're not looking for these aggressive pickoff. They want to find one and then now strike back. They want to defend their towers. They want to go for random pickoff and not frontal push. Normally, I say that's a very bad playstyle against LGD because they're so good against it, but so far it's been working marvelously.
Yeah, I mean, they've got a pretty decent split push lineup, at least through the mid game. You've got BKBs on your core heroes, so the Gyrocopter, the Razor are not really solo kills for Alk, but where things could get dicey is if Xiao 8 farms up something after his mech. He's getting close to it, and with the mech as well, LGD's team fight gets a whole lot more solid. It's coming soon for Liquid. Small but steady advantages. Now a point booster up on TC, and we're going to see that Ags build from him.
Yeah.
Ags Razor is a fearsome beast.
Well, maybe not that fearsome, but Axe Refresher is really, really fearsome. For those of you guys that are watching at home, new to Dota 2, there is a warning.
Put on your sun. If TC, I mean, we've seen IX Mike wearing sunglasses. I highly recommend the viewers at home put theirs on if TC gets Ags Refresher.
Because there's really going to be a light show.
Yeah, it is a light show.
Like a literal light show. So.
Yeah, it's flashy. It's impressive. And now Korok into the Roshan pit. Looks like Liquid might try to go for this. Rocket's pushing back the top wave, and they'll try and bring Roche down, but it's going to take a little while for them. They don't have any minus armor to speak of, no real physical damage. This is going to be a slow and steady Roche.
Diligent scouting
LGD
here.
smoking right under a Liquid ward. It's been completely spotted out, and they should just back off immediately.
Well,
they saw this, right?
I think so.
Somebody should have been watching the map.
I mean, there's RP available. This is not the fight that... Yeah, here comes... Yeah, they have sleep. I mean, you just can't take this fight right now.
If you get caught, Roche is getting really low. Was this a lapse in judgment from Liquid? They're sitting back. It seems like they might have noticed, though, because they're backing off a bit more.
Yeah, very important to send those illusions in to check in that HP, because if it's low enough, you can sleep, take the Aegis, and then win the team fight. So LG going for a big play, not gonna get it.
And the Roshan fight is just very dicey for Liquid.
Oh, here we go. Smoke gank. I mean, this is the huge wraparound TC looking for. They need a hook. They need a hook. Boba finds one. It's gonna be on Xiao 8. BKB coming up from Boba, and they just blow him up. Triple BKB pop from Liquid. They gotta be very careful because,
I mean, they did get the profit, but using 3 BKBs, it's a nice kill. Roche is not that easy. I feel like LGD could actually still get this.
I mean, if you use all 3 of your BKB, Solemn Siren will just lock everybody down. So because of that, despite getting a 5v4 advantage momentarily, Liquid just have to back off.
This is a massive game, and you could tell that maybe nerfs are a tiny factor. It hasn't really cost Liquid, but it is going to slow them down from taking the Roche. If they had 2 BKBs up, I think they could walk in and go for it. It would take them a while, though. So, a nice pick-off. They'll back off, and they'll go back to farming.
Speaking of BKB, Sylar's got zone, and that's a huge pickup because Clockwork's not going to be as impressive against him. You know, the Razor's still going to be nice, but the early game magical damage of Gyro is also going to be somewhat limited. So I think Liquid, again, they're still keeping up the pressure. They're doing well so far, but they can't feel confident at all.
They'll let their BKBs cool down, and then we may see them go back into the pit. The BKB's about to cool down. They're all still 9 seconds. If you run the triple BKB strat, you really want to keep on forcing fights. Because BKB, sure, it's a great item for dodging stuns, but it doesn't help you farm faster particularly. It gives you a tiny bit of damage. It's not an item you get for just just taking it ultra late game. They can go late, but to me, Liquid still should be looking for fights, still should be trying to pressure. They've done a nice job of slowing down LGD's farm rate, because we know LGD likes to sit back and farm. They had a Sentry Ward here, but I have to say LGD, their supports have been on the ball. That ward got dewarded, the Ancients are going to spawn, and LGD just continuing to find as much farm as possible. Despite trailing 3-10, they know how to farm.
Yeah, I mean, generally, we talk about OG China, we look at Xiaowei, we look at Sylar and say, you know, these are great players, but just want to give credit to DDC and DD. You talked about dewarding. Let's look at the levels of Naga Siren. She's level 10, 26 minutes in. A lot of times we see Naga not even hitting this level until the end of the game, and particularly in this game, Sound Siren will be used repeatedly. It's going to be huge, but I think they might just lose the Aegis here. A couple of heroes, Liquid Hero being shown to those illusions. Any rotation coming out from LG China? No, they're going to give up free Aegis.
They're giving up a Roche for free, so Liquid, give them a Roche, because LGD is in no interest in contesting this. They're going to farm. They even scouted it out with the illusions. Korok will pick it up. Now up to 2.4k gold. Was it worth giving them away a freebie? They are farming, but Aegis is scary.
Aegis is scary, particularly against the LG China team. LG China right now is relying nothing but their burst damage. We're talking about RP, we're talking about Wrath of Nature, as well as the Alchemist Stun and Shockwave and things like that. And once you use everything, sure, you probably kill Korok's first life, but he's responding back with BKB, with Lifesteal, with like 19 armor, and a whole bunch of magical burst damage. I think Liquid, if they use this Aegis smartly, they could strike big, like get a tier 2, maybe go for a team wipe, maybe even go for a rack. So this is a huge deal for Team Liquid.
Yeah, speaking more about those LGD supports, you can see DD just consistently being a pain in the rear. Zen has illusions into the enemy Ancients, throws out a Riptide on the enemy carry. Liquid now making a foray into LGD's jungle. They've got Aegis, so now they feel a lot more confident to force some fights. Not only is it nice for them to have the Aegis, it means if they do lose a fight here, it's not a disaster, because LGD can't go right back, win the fight, and take Roche. LGD, though, pushing top. Looks like they may just force Liquid to decide. Do they want to defend, or do they want to take LGD's tier 2? Glyphs up. Will they TP back?
Yeah, despite having the Aegis here, we do see LG playing very smart split push, forcing the enemy back here, and LGD advantage on this pushing war, I guess you could call it that. Boba, playing well so far, got the BKB, working on Force Staff next. He wants to hook in Cog, Force Staff himself out, and basically trap the enemy in there. But for now, not finishing the item just yet.
You know, for LGD, I feel like their individual play hasn't been that spectacular this game, but what's really solid about them is that they know what their strategy is and they're sticking to it. They're not forcing fights. They know they have fantastic late game. They're split pushing. They're farming the Ancients. They're dewarding the Ancients. Liquid still, I feel like, reacting to LGD's playstyle. So even though LGD are behind and they're not making those flashy individual plays, the strategy is solid and they're sticking to it.
Yep. Now, one thing there is a concern. We talked about the great late game of LG China. The late game of Team Liquid is very, very weak. Razor is an okay carry hero, especially if you get the Accept or Refresher build. Gyrocopter, obviously a very dangerous late game hero, but he's also splitting farm between a couple of others. And lastly, as we perhaps have a little bit of engagement on the bot lane, that should be okay. Lastly, you have a Clockwork, which is not really a true damaging hero in the late game. So Team Liquid needs to get decisive advantage early, and they got to do it in the next 10 or 15 minutes.
3k gold. It was a storm for a while, but things have calmed down. We're going to wait for round 2. Liquid, with an Aegis up, should be looking to pick a fight soon. And maybe this is the item they need. Now an Ag's up on TC. One of the best Razor performances we have seen in this entire event. 217 and 26, 30 minutes in. He's sitting right now 3-0 and 3. Massive farm. There is a BKB on Yao, but I think for Liquid, it's got to be go time. And here they go. Down the middle lane. 4 heroes grouped up, soon to be 5. Bulba's coming in, and Liquid itching to pick a fight.
Sylar has no teleport scroll. That is a huge concern. Oh, no, he does. Picking one up right now.
Not such a huge concern anymore.
He's also got to go for Assault Curious, which I'm not sure whether he's going to... Oh, he does pick it up. Never mind. I was just saying, maybe he's going to save for buyback.
Now TC popping that Aghanim ult. It does damage towers, starting to chip away. You're going to see this tower just absolutely out. No position to defend right now for LGD. They do have a BKB on this mag, which means if he gets hooked and cogged, he's not going to take too much damage from the Clockwork. In fact, hardly any at all.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Sylar pushing top. LGD China trying to defend mid. Glyph still available for them. This, honestly, it's hard for Liquid to do this. Even though this is what they need to do, against Prophet and Shadowblade Alk, it's just very hard to pull it off.
Yeah, again, Sylar pushes up top, forces the TP from Korok, and yet mid lane defended.
Oh, they're trying to go for a body block and fluff.
RP!
RP!
No!
Completely air skewer! even if he hits that, that's a Crystal Maiden, and Liquid say, okay, now we're coming mid.
Ooh, Sylar has a double damage, and Fluff and Stuff's actually gaining on Sylar right now. That's an invitation to the mid lane. Previously, you're scared of the RP, now you're scared of nothing of Team Liquid. You just go down to that mid lane hard.
Even if he hits that, Blake RP and Skewer Fluff, that's a Crystal Maiden with phase boots and the Bracer. I gotta say, I don't think that does much for you. And I think Liquid see that, and now they go in. Hook on DDC, caught deep behind enemy line, BKB's in, DDC to fall, Liquid finding the pickoff, 2 heroes dead. The Magnus now back into the fight, but the tier 2 is down. Aegis for a tier 2. LGD do trade for the top tier 2. I mean, it's not a good trade for LGD, but it could be worse.
I mean, it's actually a great trade because you're down basically 2 heroes. Magnus is not really a hero without RP. You're down a support Jakiro, and they traded, so like it's actually pretty good for them.
Yeah, but Yao dying is a concern for me, and also RP being on cooldown still leaves Liquid a lot more freedom to move around the map. The 4-staff's up for Bulba, so this is a really cute item on Clockwork, and he uses it magnificently. What you'll see him do is he'll 4-staff in on a hero, and then he'll hook in, and then he'll 4-staff himself out. So then he leaves Magnus just trapped in cogs. Nothing that Yao can do. It's any other hero that he catches, but the Mag probably the one he wants.
Yeah, the other big thing, not particularly about 4-staff, but Boba against this lineup is that sure he could hook in against the Alchemist, and really Alchemist is gonna pop the BKB. You're not gonna kill Sylar, but what are you gonna do is trap in the cogs and let TC steal the damage, because again, predominantly against a 1-core lineup where you expect Sylar to do all the damage, if you link him and drain like 200 damage, for example, then TC is really the one that's doing everything.
Yeah, and you can see where the Ag's Razor is very strong, which is when they win a fight, then the tower falls really fast. A lot of damage onto it. Aegis about to wear off. Without Aegis, it will be a bit harder for Liquid to fight, and LGD, knowing that, gonna force something bottom now. But there is still a little time here for Korok, and he's got a Butterfly. This is a big timing window. There's no MKB on LGD's side. There's no sight device, so the evasion will be coming through the entire fight for Korok.
Team Liquid advantage. Butterfly will be delivered. And Liquid, I mean, again, they are winning, but they're not getting much done in terms of like getting a Rex.
Yeah, you can just look at the graphs and see it. I think there's 1 or 2 buybacks in LGD, but not too many, if any of this game. It's only a 2K gold lead, a 5K experience lead. All the sort of emotional momentum should be on Liquid's side because they've been finding all these kills, they've been controlling the map. But in terms of just the numbers game, you can't say that Liquid has a huge advantage.
Now 3K go up on Alchemist again. I mean, did he just finish this AC? We turn around and suddenly got another.
This is what Alk does.
Right. So what's next for him? Are we looking at a big HP item like a heart that's let him tank? Or are we looking for an item that gets him out of that cog? Manta Style is always a concern, or always an option.
I mean, generally when we've seen the Abyssal Blade come after this, but since there's already a Butterfly on Korok, we might see him just go straight out MKB.
Yeah.
But I think one of those two is most likely. There's nothing really else good to pick up here. You can't Manta out of Enfeeble or the Razor Link, so there's just not much you can do against that.
Well, Sylar thinking about making a solo kill on TC. Well, he does have support here. It's going to be coming up on TC. The Acid Spray gets dropped. He's not attacking nearly fast enough. RP being used for TC. Well, it's not a Crystal Maiden, and they do get the kill on him.
Huge kill on TC. I mean, he just bought a plate mail. Actually, does he? He has buyback, but forcing that out would be massive because it means he won't have buyback for the Roche fight. They're pressuring top lane. RP's on cooldown, so Liquid shouldn't be too nervous. Now they're going in bottom. There's a song here, though, from DD. Now he's going to TP out from the tree line. Bulba's got a hook. Can he get in range? It's too late. A masterful escape. Song and RP are cooling down, but they should be back up for the Roche fight.
It's just not an escape, but also he has locked down like 3 heroes for a good 7 to 10 seconds on the bot lane, allowing the tier 3 to suffer a little bit of damage. Again, Team Liquid, they are ahead. They're ahead in gold, they're ahead in experience, but it's the tier 3 tower on top lane that's suffering damage from Team Liquid.
It's so slight that it might as well not even be a lead at all.
Bot lane Fluff.
That support Crystal Maiden, stunned to fly. In comes big, bad Sylar. One swipe of those chopsticks and down he'll go. Easy kill. I mean, Alchemist, this guy will make chop suey of you if you let him.
Yeah, it's a momentum game right now. Sylar and LG China is getting that momentum back after drawing a couple of TPs, getting a kill on Crystal Maiden. They're going to get a tier 1 tower as well. We look at Sylar now, he's got 51. Didn't he just have 3K?
Yeah, we need to stop looking at his farm. I feel like I'm on some drugs or something. That's on 2. Sylar BK beat up, but driven off by TC. There's no RP. He's being gripped. He's not taking damage, but all his damage is gone. Now TC gonna whip everyone and drive them back. Get out of this fight, they say. Skewering to the high ground. Yao retreats out. Sylar as well. Korok is here, but can they actually stop him? You can't body block someone who's Shadow Blade. Now he pops his ult. And actually, he's going to try and TP out. No, he's waiting.
Is he really going for a solo kill?
Wow, he's going in. He's got...
No,
he's
going to the top lane, actually, yeah.
I mean, to be honest, LGD didn't have RP and they didn't have to use it. That's a good fight for them.
I mean, it was a great hook from Boba, but all they got out of it was a Jakiro kill. I mean...
I think that was a full duration Fiend script, and it just didn't matter.
Full duration grip, full duration link, and everybody just like ran.
I mean, it's like you said, Razor is a fantastic semi-carry. In the right situations, he can just overwhelm some heroes, but ultimately, he's not a typical hard carry. He's not going to just blow someone up with minimal or medium farm.
Right. I mean, win or lose, let's actually look at Boba and say how well he's been playing. 4-0-6 score. As an initiator, as a suicidal initiator, he has not died yet. He's found some amazing hook, allowing them to push down tier 2, allowing them to win some huge team fight. I mean, his hero will scale off in the next coming 20 minutes or so, but so far he's just putting his entire team on his back and carrying them hard.
This next Roshan engagement, it may not decide the entire game, but it's going to dictate at least the next 10 to 15 minutes. Because if Liquid come out hugely on top here, they may be able to force these tier 2s top and bottom lane. If they lose it though, then I think LGD go from being behind most of this game to suddenly being in the driver's seat. Sylar now, he's got a Demon Edge. Soon he's going to have his MKB. I think he wants buyback before it, but into the pit goes Korok. LGD should have written the time down. They've got to know, are they going to contest Roche, or are they
going to go Roche?
Are they content just to give it away and say, we don't need Aegis to beat?
Yeah, we're going to take a tier 3. They know that Team Liquid, despite the item they have, they don't really take down Roshan that quickly. I mean, this is tier 3 heroes, Rocky and Roche, and like Roche is still tanking it up. Back on the top lane here, Sylar says, here we go.
There's a glyph for Liquid. They're going to get Aegis and be able to defend. No real effort from LGD, aside just from forcing the glyph. Roshan dropping low. There's just no desire to go in here. Yao's kind of dancing around, but actually walks right over a Liquid ward. Aegis to Liquid. That's 2 Roches for them. LGD, we've seen them turn a lot to Roshan to secure wins that sometimes seem lost, but they won't have Aegis this game. At least not now. That's 2 for Liquid.
A big one here. Being picked up from Ike's Mike as well. He's got his gem, and that's going to allow them to deward as they move an inch closer to the LGD base. For the next 2 to 3 minutes, you will see Team Liquid TPing back to the base towers, pushing out multiple lanes and say, you know what, let's get the creep layer across the river and now apply a little bit of pressure on those tier 3 towers.
So if you're Korok now, you've got a Satanic, a Butterfly, and a BKB. Sylar's got an MKB coming soon. The next thing Sylar's going to go for is an Abyssal Blade. And I do feel like if he gets an Abyssal Blade, I don't think there's anything that Korok can get that will match that. Because if he just runs in and stuns you and then there's a Magnus follow-up, you're pretty much dead.
Yep. So
this is where Gyrocopter has to count on his teammates. Gyrocopter's not really a man fight here unless he's ahead an item or 2. He's much more of a...
here we go! Sylar gets caught. Do they have detection? Yes, they do. Gem on Ike's Mike. There's a grip. He's so tanky, though. Sylar says, I'm going to fight you back very soon. No, he just BKB TPs. And
wow! What? Oh my goodness, he gets away. The BKB just then running out. Did he actually get that split second of invulnerability from IX Mike?
I think what happened there was IX Mike was clicking on the Alchemist very, very hard and very fast. He was like, oh, I'll get that Nightmare off. But if you can't target him, it just goes to your ally. So don't worry, he doesn't need to take off his sunglasses. It's just, you know, that's how the game works.
Yeah. Nothing he could do there. Now Team Liquid rotating through the enemy jungle. I mean, they didn't get a kill there, and but what's nice is they are forcing out BKB charges from Sylar.
Yes, they are.
Yao, Invis rune up. Liquid know about this. There's a Blink BKB as well, and he's backing off. Liquid grouping up towards the middle lane. They've got Aegis. They smoke as well. Not spotted by LGD. They're really trying to force these fights.
This is a tight game. I mean, look at this goal graph. It's slowly inching towards LGD China's favor, and as Team Liquid...
But remember, the tier 2 is down mid, so even though it's even, if Liquid wins one big fight, that could well be racks. And it's where, if you're LGD, you really want to hold on to buyback. Sylar's got one right now. Nothing on Xiao 8, and Yao's got one. I think Xiao 8 needs one, though.
Boba, he's inching up top. His smoke's going to break to a support hero, or break to Yao in the jungle.
No, it's not. Boba heading to the right. Yao blinking in the trees.
Rocket.
Now the rocket's a fly. Hook's there. Where's the hook?
He canceled the last second! Boba is hitting it home. BKB coming out from Sylar. 4-step out, and Sylar just stuck there, hitting cogs like a madman.
He's got no TP. He's got no way out. This is a massive kill if they could get it. On the run. Dusted up. All the damage stolen, and Sylar just has no way out. Boba's done it again. 13-5. But if you're LGD China, you're still pushing bottom lane. It's a great kill for Liquid. But LGD China can give up some kills and still hold on to some map control here.
It felt like they gave up a kill and they're actually pushing for advantage. They're actually ahead, it feels like. But LGD, I mean, they lose Sylar. Sylar doesn't need to force to be bought back or anything. The score's 5-13, and I think LGD's ahead.
And they have an Aegis, but they're not using it to force the high ground, and they're not using it to force big team fights. So far, they're just fighting pickoffs. Again, Liquid, emotional momentum on their side, but strategic position is that LGD China can give up some kills and still come out on top.
Right now, I feel like Team Liquid is playing LG China's game. They are defending the tower as the split push comes. They're finding great pickoffs, and I really like what Liquid is doing. They're pushing hard down the mid lane to force out that buyback. Don't allow Sylar to keep his 2k gold and keep it in the bank. Now, let's see if LG China is confident enough they could defend without their biggest carry.
They've got to sight the Vice down Xiaowei. That's a big item against Liquid, having multiple BKBs. If Korok just gets sight, they have enough burst to bring him down, I think. Into the front lines goes TC. Ags online. He's now starting to do a decent amount of damage to this tower. But there is a song, and there is an RP. Tread carefully if you're Liquid. They've got an Observer Ward here, so they see Yao. If he tries to go, it's going to be very tough.
Here we go.
But in comes the hook from Bulba. Initiation from him. There's a grip on Yao. Caught mid-skewer. He's got buyback, though. DD's got Song. Bulba diving. Kills off DD as well. Damage being stolen, but Bulba now dead. And TC in a lick of trouble. He does need to back off. The mag buys back.
Oh my God. The
Song's not available. RP could be there. Sylar could be there. Stun's gonna fly. And now it turns around.
That's on the 2. Where's the skewer? Nothing just yet. They want X-Mike. X-Mike still juking to the left. TC's back here. Yao's on the run still. Nothing yet. I mean, that was a great initiation with Sylar dead, but Team Liquid, they just can't break high ground.
Oh my God. IX Mike almost dying to the acid spray. Gets away by the skin of his teeth. Will Xiaowei dive this? No, they're sticking together. If he comes in, he's probably going to end up giving away his own life. I mean, that's a good turn of events for Liquid. They force out some big buybacks they force out a buyback on the Magnus. They pick up another kill on the Naga. They don't break the base, but they do a lot of damage to the tier 3. So if they can make trades like that, that's exactly what they want. Finding solo pickoffs is okay, but structural damage is really the name of the game.
But I mean, how often can Team Liquid do that? They don't have Aegis. They use their Aegis for doing that.
They've got an AC now on TC. I think the next time they do that, that tower's not going to take damage. It's going to drop, and the Rax could easily lose 2/3, if not all of its HP.
Well, let's quickly check out what gold and what item these heroes are picking up. We do see Yao still sitting at 3,600. Not exactly sure what he's going to buy at this moment in time because he's spent the buyback. I think Heart would be pretty good. At the same time, though, you just want to drop your RP, so
it's probably a refresher game. I mean, that's what we've seen from Yao. He likes his refresher. They always count on Sylar to be the 80% of the damage, something like that. The vast majority. Xiaowei's more of a utility hero for them and just a player in general. So I think we'll see the refresher, but for now, he'll save for buyback. He needs to, because if with the Rax exposed, with the tier 3 low and with the Rax in danger of being exposed, and with no glyph available, if they lose a big fight, and his buyback's just cooled down, but he spent his gold, then they're screwed.
Yep. Meanwhile, speaking of a player with a ton of gold, Xiaowei holding about 3,000. He should be picking up a little bit of DPS as well. A BKB wouldn't be bad as well because you could basically hit in the middle of team fights.
Yeah, I feel like Liquid right now is just one good Bulba hook or team fight away from taking Rax. They're getting close. The gold's even, the experience is even. There were some buybacks on LGD, so I'd say it's pretty much dead even in terms of gold. But if Liquid just get that one extra hook from Bulba, this could be the difference.
I mean, where's that one extra hook coming from? I mean, he's hitting them, but if LGD China don't expose heroes...
Well, they're exposing some now. Xiaowei pushing out the bottom lane. Hook to fly. Barely off the mark. Xiaowei juking to the right. Well, that's what they need.
How do you have vision of that?
Bulba?
No, how did Xiaowei know he's getting hooked?
Yeah, just anticipation. Spidey senses. They're tingling. Roshan number 3 is coming soon. This is Aegis and Chi, so they really can't afford to give it up. Fluff in the jungle. Well, he's not going to get caught. I mean, to me, they hit one hook like that right when Roche is about to respawn, and that could just be Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's been their Aegis for quite a bit. Also, I want to say that slowly our Naga Siren has been
Lumi. Lumi. Look what we've got here on Korok. Liquid are going for the jugular. If they get next Aegis Cheese and they have a Rapier on Korok, I think it's their game. Like with Rapier and Aegis, I don't think LGD can win a team fight.
I'm gonna say
that it has to be so ridiculous.
I'm gonna say that no other team in this tournament will make a play like this. They are ahead by quite a bit in terms. Well, they're down by gold, right? But they're ahead in terms of position. I think position is the most important thing.
The interesting thing to me is will Korok show the Sacred Relic? Because he's in the enemy jungle.
Should have kept it in courier.
Yeah, he is revealing it now, so LGD seeing that may be more inclined to force a Roche hit, fight him back. They're trying to fight Korok now. Tree is deployed. No.
Oh, they don't know. Nobody knows.
They do know.
He's going to try to TP out. There's a scythe. Oh no, Korok's going to get stunned up here, and the right click won't come from Sylar. This is a huge pick up here.
He's got Satanic. He's got called out. He pops it all. He's not using anything.
There's
Satanic comes up, turns it around against Xiaowei, but sprouted again. The backup's really late here. BKB from Yao. I think it's too much. Hook from Boba. Korok alive. Still alive. Where's that RP? He just can't get it off. Now he falls. Boba falls as well. 2 dead for the price of 1 because that Sylar is going down. Song not being enough.
Oh no, I mean, RP was held for such a long time. They thought they didn't need it, but the quick rotation coming out from Liquid and Boba's suicidal hook gave them just enough time to get the kill. Refresher gets purchased, and now TC, I think they're going to strike into tier 2 and roll back.
The thing, I mean, we were talking about the element of surprise. Yao's actually got double RP now, and Liquid don't know about it. Will Liquid see this coming? Is there a smoke? There is on DDC. If they try to pick a fight and there's 2 RPs and they're only banking it on 1, that could just win the game right there.
But back to Korok, I just want to say that no other team, I think, in this tournament will make that kind of play. You're in an even situation. Divine Rapiers generally is reserved for a Hail Mary kind of thing. We're losing so bad that there's no way we could win. But right now, Team Liquid says, let's just throw this game up in there. We're strong, but not strong enough to break high ground from our last push. And of course, with Aegis coming up and the fact that they're very confident at getting Aegis, perhaps with Aegis and Divine Rapier, you could break LGD China.
Let it never be said that Korok lacks for manliness, because this guy, he lifts, and he lifts a lot, by the way. And he'll try to do some heavy lifting here. 16-9 the score. It's been a low kill scoring game, but it's been a very intense game. 47 minutes in, the fans are still all rooting for Liquid. Well, not all, but the majority for sure. LGD, though, they've been in this situation before. Backs against the wall in tough matches, and they found a way to go deep in so many tournaments. If there's ever a team that it's tough to beat late, LGD's got to be on the top.
IX Mike is dewarding. He's IX Mike. He always has basketball shorts on. Now we know why.
Yeah, he's showing off his moves a bit there. Boba now throwing out a rocket. Just some simple harassment and vision for them. We'll see a TP towards the top lane. Xiaowei working towards an MKB. Liquid now, Roche number 3. If they get this, and Korok then farms a Divine, and nothing happens on LGD side to kill Liquid or slow them down, they don't remove the Aegis, Liquid can just go straight down mid. Here we go, though. Song's online. It's spotted out by a Sentry Ward of Liquid. They fully know what's coming their way. Will they be able to withstand it?
There's a force staff on Naga. He can force it in Song, but
nothing yet. Roche is low. Are they going to contest or not?
You gotta do it now. You gotta do it now, Song.
BKB from Korok. Not being used. Caught by the Song. Roche is low. Grand Theft Aegis from LGD. Picked up by Yao. Hogan from Boba. RP catches a few, and it's Chaos in the pin. Still standing strong.
Second RP. It's going to come right now. That also catches 3 Sylar with the right clicks. He gets up by X Mike. He's low. He's going to get one, but he's dropping. Korok wins the man fight. Yao comes back in. Hooks back in by Boba. They win the team fight. TC grabs the cheese. It's a 5-man fight, but immediate buyback coming out here from Xiaowei. Is he going to backdoor? There's no backdoor just yet. But critical damage, there is no Aegis, and of course there is no Divine just yet for a gyrocopter.
And the crowd goes absolutely bonkers. Liquid, that looked like one of the worst fights in the Roche pit I've ever seen. It really reminded me of that Dignitas versus LGD game. But Bulba came in with the cogs, completely disrupted the Alchemist. We hardly saw any auto attacks. They did snipe the Aegis though, and to me that's still a pretty big deal, because that means, sure, I'd say Liquid win that fight pretty handily, but if they try to go Divine now on Korok, it's without an Aegis. So if they want to go for it, I think they'll wait quite a while to do it and wait for the next room.
I mean, there is a cheese available, so perhaps TC could pass a cheese to Korok, but at the same time, you're dealing with RP, you're dealing with Cypher Vice, and there's not enough force staffs on Team Liquid side to protect a very high priority target like Korok. There is one available on Boba, and that's pretty much it. So it is a very, very risky play. For me, I like to see him to hold this gold and maybe angle for the next Roshan. If he gets it now, I mean, there's a huge red target on him, and if you lose a Divine, it's done, right?
Yeah, I don't think you go for the Divine now. I think you sit back, you take it easy, relax, you still have your racks up, you'll have buybacks if LGD do win a big team fight, and if LGD wins a big team fight, that means RP is probably down, so it means they're probably not going high ground against buybacks. So if you're Liquid, play it safe, you still have cheese, maybe go for pickoff.
They disagree. Boba says if we get a kill right now, we could win. There's no buyback on Xiaowei. Oh, he gets hooked! There's no buyback! Xiaowei in huge trouble. He mechs himself up, but his team is not coming just yet. They're coming now.
No, songs available, not being used.
There's
now
more
they're on the run.
There's more hook.
Hook's cooling down. Boba can't get it off. He gets songed, and he probably is going down. DD, though, here we go. Here we go. Yao RP, no, he says I don't want in. He backs off. Hooked again. Indecision from Yao. RP is there, but not good enough. Skewering Boba back. There's another RP, but he's gripped. He's gripped and he's down. And LGD are being overrun in the shadow of their own base. 23-12. The racks to fall. Liquid can taste victory.
Oh my god, what is Team LGD China gonna do? They still have BKB available on Alchemist. He is by far the strongest here. They are going for the throne. They say no more messing around. Will LGD make a great play? Sylar coming in. Oh, Infibo goes up a huge long stun. Lots on Ix Mike.
There's no RPs here. Can they really stop this fight without any RPs? The throne's gonna start dropping soon. Tier 4's to fall. One's down. One to go for Liquid. LGD could be going home. Now another home.
He's gonna delay another two-man call. And now Sylar needs to fight. Does he have buyback? He got a buyback now. The throne under siege. Tier 4 towers going down. BKBs are all over right now for Team Liquid. And Sylar, this gotta be his last hurrah. Boba, he's looking for more hooks. They find two more. Now Sylar, man fight. Cheese gets pop on TC. They're going for the kill. We have RP in 20 seconds. Will there be 20 more seconds? I'm not sure. Sylar going for TC. They don't get TC, but look at
Throne's low. Throne's almost dead. Not yet. Sylar to fall. Liquid are doing it. They're gonna take it. LGD China are going home.
Oh my god.
And Boba is on his feet. Can you feel it?
I can feel it.
Team Liquid, few would have given them any chance against LGD China heading into this tournament, but they have shocked the world. They take a best of one. They're in the money, and the third place team from last year is out of the tournament.
Team Liquid has shown class. They have shown high level of play, and to be honest, they have shown how to win a ballsy game.
And they go directly in LGD's booth. They're gonna shake their hand. What a performance. Liquid, they pull off the incredible, the magical. And on that note, we'll have to throw it back to James. Guys, how do you feel about this game?
What an amazing game there. Team Liquid pulling. Now, that's the first upset of the tournament, Colin. You have to give it.
Wow, and we called it.
And we called it. High five. There we go.
That was Bulba. Wow, what a player.
What a player.
I mean, that clockwork, and that's, again, clockwork throughout the entire tournament. These clockworks are really top-notch, high-level. So good.
He was fantastic all the time, catching people. He seemed to have map hack. He was always getting the hook in the right position, disrupting the enemy that they had to disrupt, whether it was the Sylar to isolate him from the rest of the team, Yao to not let him do these RPs that were very damaging at one point in the game. He was everywhere. Boba, I think there's no doubt about it. He was the MVP of the match.
Oh, definitely.
And
Easy call.
Today as well has also been, I feel, a little bit MVP-ish of the of day two at least. And you can look at the items that he had. They were just the perfect items. BKB was up first, which is fantastic versus Ice Path, just not being able to get trapped in there. Then you had the Force Staff. Obviously you can't use both at once. But at least he was, when he went into his Aghanims, he was able to survive and throw out 2 hooks during the fight, which is what you want your Clockwork late game to be able to do. It's like hit 1, 2, or potentially even 3 hooks, just because they're so destructive. So brilliant item choice. Amazing at running down his opponents, and those finds that he had on Zhao Wei and also Sylar were just brilliant. And this is where it got
This is an amazing fight
really
right
risky.
here, yeah.
And I just want to say, you can see
Fluff.
the Aegis is going to come in. Here comes Bulba. Now this is fine, the hook's good and all, but watch Fluff and Stuff on the Crystal
Look
Maiden.
at that, Fluff, down there.
Yao gets a nice RP. There's the second one. And Fluff and Stuff is just absolutely destroying Zhao Wei. He's putting good damage onto Sylar. And eventually, Liquid come out on top. And TC, he had good positioning on the first RP. Fluff and Stuff on the second RP was just clean to put down his ultimate, and it made a huge difference.
Yeah, I really like TC's build this game. He actually got the mech so that Clockwork was able to go more useful items such as Forceps, such as Ag Scepter. And usually, like the 10 to 20 minute mark is when LG turns around their early game, starts to gather his 5, and starts to crush the other team. But with the early mech on TC, it was almost impossible to kill. I remember there was this one fight on the bottom T1 tower. They threw a lot of spells at him. There were like 4 heroes, but he managed to survive. And I think they actually traded for 2-0. And I think TC on a Razor, they actually picked Razor second, and there was no lifesteal on the board, no anything, and I think he actually kept the Alchemist in check for a lot of the game.
Yeah, and Fluff and Stuff in the booth, yeah, there you could see clearly saying, hell yeah, we're all going for ice cream after that victory.
I've never seen him so excited. He's such a calm person and collected. This is huge. I mean, Liquid must be ecstatic right now. They're top
really?
8, and it's been an amazing game for them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're ecstatic, and we'll find out how excited they are about their victories. We're going to go to Casey on the floor with an interview.
Hey guys, yeah, Korik's here now from Liquid, and you look so calm right now. People out there are still going nuts. People backstage here were going nuts. How are you really feeling right now?
I'm just in complete disbelief. My teammates and I, we all thought we could do it, but actually pulling it and getting it together, it's really amazing, and we're still in shock.
When you were going in today, were you thinking about, oh my gosh, we have a chance here to knock last year's 3rd place out, or were you just focused on whatever happens, happens? How much was that in your thoughts?
Well, we knew that LGD was going to be one of the strongest teams here, and so we thought we'd at least want to bring them a good game, and if we could win, that's ideal.
What's the moment in the game that we just saw that you all knew, oh my gosh, we really could take this? Was there any one particular thing that happened?
Well, we knew that once we had our BKBs, we could take any of the fights that we wanted. And the thing with LGD is that they're known for being able to hide in their base and really just turtle the game out and come back very easily. So we had to be very patient. And I talked to a few people before the game, and they all recommended that. So there wasn't really any point. It's just we tried to be as patient as possible, wait for them to slip up, and then we tried to get what we could.
It was really neat for me just to see in one game 2 totally different styles of play, and it was neat to see how that kind of played off of each other. Are you going to change anything moving forward with the next game?
I'm not, to be honest, I can't even think of who we're playing next.
Well, it's either going to be, let's see, Zenith or IG. Do you have a preference? If you had to pick right now, which one would you rather go up against?
I would pick IG because they 2-0'd us in the group stage, and I want some revenge.
Want some revenge? You're really feeling it, feeling the anger. Did you hear all the USA chants out there when you came out?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah? Is there anything that you want to say to the fans watching at home?
Thanks for being so supportive, because it really means everything to us.
You have a lot of love back here. Congratulations again. Huge upset, and it was really exciting. Oh, hi. How's it going?
I'm happy.
You're happy?
Are you happy?
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite hit him just yet. Has it hit you?
It hit me in that booth.
Yeah?
And then
At what point? When did it first hit you when you were in the booth there?
we were throwing them. Then they respawn, and then I don't even know. I have to watch the replay.
What do you do after a match like that to kind of get the adrenaline out? Because
What I did.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna regret that.
No, we regret nothing backstage.
No, I mean I ran out on the stage like a clown.
No, it's great.
You were fine.
The fans love that. Seriously. And I know that people who are watching right now, they're thrilled, and especially for it to happen on your home turf. Can we expect more of this?
This is amazing. Oh my God.
Did you ever dream of this happening?
I mean, the tournament's still not over, obviously, but this is a best-of-1 game versus LGD.